Hello everybody, how are you all? So this is Frescon Academy and I am Rajat sir and I am teaching you cell, the basic unit of life. So हम लोगों ने बहुत कुछ पढ़ लिया. हम लोगों ने एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिक्यूलम डिटेल में पढ़ा है, हम लोगों ने गोल्गी apparatus डिटेल में पढ़ा है और फिर हमने पढ़ा लाइसोसोम्स को काफी डिटेल में. एंड नाउ वी विल डू वन मोर ऑर्गेनल व्हिच इज अ वेरी स्मॉल. ये छोटा है बिकॉज बहुत प्यारा है और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है, और सेल का एक अच्छा पार्ट है. ओके, द नेम ऑफ द ऑर्गेनल इज vacuole. Yes, remember? So today we are doing vacuole in this video. Okay, vacuole. Vacuole का नाम सुनते ही समझ में आता है ये आया है कहां से. वैक्यूम. यस, वैक्यूम, वैक्यूल. उसके अंदर भी कुछ नहीं होता, इसके अंदर भी कुछ होता है. थोड़ी चीजें आ जाओ. सो वैक्यूल कहां से आया? वहीं से जहां से निकला था वेसिकल्स. मतलब एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम के बाद आया था कौन? गोल्गी. और गोल्गी जब एंड में उसके ट्रांसफेस से कभी कभी कुछ ऐसे मेम्ब्रेन स्ट्रक्चर निकल जाते जिसके अंदर कुछ नहीं होता, हम उन्हें कहते हैं वैक्यूल. सो वैक्यूल आर सिंगल मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनल. रिमेंबर, दे आर सिंगल मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनल वैक्यूल. और इनकी खासियत और सबसे बड़ी बात ये जरूर याद रखना कि दे आर स्मॉल and fewer in animals, but they are large and less, maybe sometimes one, okay, in plants. So please remember this. Vacuoles एनिमल सेल्स के अंदर बहुत छोटे होते हैं, काफी सारे. लेकिन प्लांट में ये बड़ा भयंकर वैक्यूल होता है, सेंट्रल वैक्यूल. मतलब आई विल से इफ इट इज अ प्लांट सेल, सो दे हैव अ सेंट्रल लार्ज वैक्यूल. ओ माय गुडनेस. और जब ये वैक्यूल इतना बड़ा है तो उसके जो बाकी ऑर्गेनल्स है, सपोज एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम, गोल्गी बॉडी, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, प्लास्टिड्स, ये सारे जो होते हैं ना वो एक तरफ ऐसे इस तरह से चिपक जाते हैं बिकॉज बीच में ये बड़ा मोटा ताजा कौन आ गया? वैक्यूल है. और जो दूसरा होता है, मान लो इफ इट्स एन एनिमल सेल, सो एनिमल सेल्स के अंदर दीज वैक्यूल्स दे आर लाइक वेरी स्मॉल एंड छोटे कहीं मिलेंगे. So these are small, they don't have much functions in animal cell. In plant cells they have huge and very important functions. Okay guys, so remember always vacuoles, they are single membrane. कहां से आए? They are they are the membrane bound organelles, okay, which origins from the गोल्गी बॉडी, ओके, apparatus जो हमने पढ़ा था, सिस एंड ट्रांसफेस से जब निकल के आता था. एंड द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट पार्ट इज दे आर सिंगल मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनल्स. They are very small and fewer in number in animal cells, and we say they are large and sometimes is one big large central vacuole. Small and fewer, ये वर्ड हम हटा देंगे so that कोई confusion ना हो, ठीक है. So they are smaller and many in number. They are small and many in number animals. I'm sorry. So remember, they are small and many in animal cell. Okay, but they are large and sometimes only one in plant cell. And because of the vacuole, the other organelles, they are pressurized or shifted towards the plasma membrane. Remember this, ठीक है? So this is vacuole. Oh my God, that's a vacuole. There's a large central vacuole in plants. आपको remember रखना है, आपको याद रखना है. What is remember रखना है? Anyways, ठीक है? आ जाओ. So we are doing vacuole, right? So सबसे important now. Okay guys, the single membrane bound organelle है and this membrane is called as tonoplast because it's a special membrane. It's a semi-permeable membrane. Remember, what is semi-permeable? Come on, ये पढ़ा तो है तुम लोगों ने. What is semi? There are three things. Okay, one is permeable, one is impermeable, and one is semi-permeable. What is permeable? सब कुछ आता है ना? It's open. कोई भी आ सकता है, कोई भी जा सकता है. इट्स टोटली ओपन, सब कुछ आता है. और इज इम्परमिएबल, कुछ नहीं आता है पूरा बंद, कुछ नहीं आ सकता. and semi permeable is कुछ आता है, समझे? कुछ आता है, सिलेक्टिवली जो चीजें चाहिए वही बस आएंगी, बाकी चीजों को हम नहीं लेंगे। समझ में आ रहा है? ठीक है, ओके। सो अगर आपका दरवाजा पूरा खुला हुआ है ही नहीं दरवाजा, तो परमिएबल। दरवाजा आपने बंद करके लॉक कर दिया है तो इट इज इम्परमिएबल। लेकिन अगर दरवाजे को लॉक नहीं किया, आपने ऐसे ही बंद करके रखा हुआ है, तो इट इज कॉल्ड सेमी परमिएबल, बिकॉज नाउ यू विल अलाउ ओनली दोज things to come inside which are important. Okay, so this is called semi-permeable. And remember, vacuole ka membrane is semi-permeable, which means it will allow only selective material to come inside. And the membrane of the vacuole is called as tonoplast. It's called as tonoplast. Okay, so let's see what does vacuole do. So there are types of vacuole in a cell. Number one is called, say, what did you say? We'll say Sap Vacuole. Okay, it's called a Sap Vacuole. Now, what is a Sap Vacuole? Sometimes inside the vacuole, okay, now this is a cell and this is a vacuole. They contain sap. Now, what is sap? Sap is nutrients. Sap is nutrients, ions, all important materials. They are inside the sap. So what happens actually? So this is cell cytoplasm and this is sap. Okay, now from the cytoplasm, the important materials, they get inside the sap or the vacuole, and this is against the action or potential gradient. Okay, because इसके अंदर पहले कंसंट्रेशन कम है और इसके अंदर कंसंट्रेशन ज्यादा है ऑफ आयंस ऑफ मटेरियल, बट थोड़ी देर बाद बिकॉज ऑफ सेमी परमेबल मेम्ब्रेन, okay, with the help of an active process mechanism, what happens कि इसके जो important materials है, nutrients है, ions है, ये सारे against the gradient. Why I'm saying against the gradient? Because इसके अंदर concentration कम था, इसमें concentration ज्यादा था, तो क्या हो रहा था कि नाउ क्या हो रहा है कि सारे जो है ये यहाँ पे सैप वैक्यूल के अंदर आ जाते हैं, एंड ये जो जैसे ये सब मटेरियल इसके अंदर आ जाएगा, then it will become what? It will become hypertonic to cytoplasm. So please remember this. The first vacuole is called Sap Vacuole. Now, why it is called Sap Vacuole? A Sap Vacuole is a vacuole which has sap in it. Now, what is sap? Sap is all nutrient, ions, all important things inside. Okay, so there's a cytoplasm and there's a sap. So what happens ki the nutrients, the ions, they all travel from the cytoplasm inside the sap, okay, and make the sap hypertonic to the cytoplasm. So all the nutrients are inside now in the sap, okay, in the vacuole sap, okay, and why this happens? Because the membrane of the sap is what? Semi-permeable, so it allow only the nutrients and all these things to come inside. So remember, the first important vacuole is called Sap Vacuole. So what is Sap Vacuole? I guess you all got it. What is Sap Vacuole? Sap Vacuole is a vacuole which contains sap. What is sap? Sap, all the nutrients and the ions and everything, and how it comes inside. So it comes by active process or passive process. It depends on the depends on the concentration of the solute and the solution. Okay, and remember, when they all come inside into the sap, now sap becomes hypertonic to the cytoplasm. Okay, so this is the first kind of vacuole which is called as Sap Vacuole, which contain nutrients and everything. Okay, sometimes they also contain some pigments, which is very important. Okay, now these pigments, what they do, they give color to the flowers. Anthocyanin. Okay, remember, there's a very beautiful pigment called anthocyanin. Now this is a pigment which gives purplish color to the plants, to the petals of the flowers. So these pigments, they make flowers attractive. Now when they become attractive, so it helps in pollination. Okay, so remember, so sap vacuole is a very important vacuole. It's a type of vacuole in a plant cell where all the nutrients, all the important things are inside, and it is a hypertonic thing as compared to cytoplasm. It has a semilunar membrane, and inside it there are some pigments also in some plants, which makes the flower very attractive, the petals very beautiful. And these pigments, one of the example of these pigments is anthocyanin, and definitely it has some material, some things which protect the plant from herbivores. So remember, so sap vacuoles, they may have some things, some poison, some kind of things which will kill or which will harm the herbivores. So in a way it protects the plants also. Okay, so remember, this is one type of vacuole called sap vacuole. It's a very important vacuole. So it has many things. With those, in some plants it has pigments which makes it very attractive, and in some plants it has things or poisons which can harm or hurt the herbivores. Therefore it protects the plants from herbivores also. Okay, so that's all about sap vacuole. Remember and note down each and every point, students. Okay, so after sap vacuole we'll move to the next vacuole. Now this is a very important vacuole called food vacuole. Now what is a food vacuole? We have already studied about that. Now what is a food vacuole? Now ये आपका cell, remember this is a cell, and what is a food vacuole? यहाँ से याद है मैंने बताया था, यहाँ से pinocytosis होता है या तो phagocytosis होता है. When it is phagocytosis, it means what? It is engulfing a food particle. Okay, it is engulfing a food particle and it becomes a phagosome. Now this is a food vacuole. Remember, this is a food vacuole, phagosome. If it is a fluid vacuole, then it's a pinosome, it's a phagosome. So when it engulfs a food particle, it becomes a food vacuole, and this food vacuole will go and bind with what? Remember, primary lysosomes, and they become secondary lysosomes, and then the material, digested material, the important material, they come in the cytoplasm and the waste go out. Okay, so that's the importance of food vacuole in amoeba, in many small unicellular organisms or primitive cells. They use food vacuoles, which is very important. So one is sap vacuole, you understood, one is food vacuole. The third one is a very important, and it's called contractile vacuole. Now what is contractile vacuole? V-A-C-U-O-L-E, and that's contractile vacuole. What is contractile vacuole? Contractile vacuole helps in two important things. One is excretion and other is osmoregulation. So one is excretion and one is osmoregulation. What is excretion? As you all know, what's excretion? Come on, excretion में क्या होता है कि suppose ये एक cell है और ये एक contractile vacuole है. Okay, so it takes all the wastes of the cell or from the from outside. Okay, they take all the cells waste, बाहर का वेस्ट ले लेते हैं या तो फिर सेल के अंदर का पूरा वेस्ट ले लेते हैं. Now this is a vacuole, and then it becomes large, it's called diastole, and then it becomes small, it's called systole, and when it becomes small and then it bursts out all the things outside. Okay, so you don't have this much in your syllabus, you just have to remember the functioning of contractile vacuole. Contractile helps in excretion. How it is doing that? It takes all the waste, all the undigested part, all the waste materials inside, it expands itself, it is called diastole, and then it contracts itself, that's called systole, and when it contracts itself it goes and bursts out of the plasma membrane and all the waste materials, they move out of the cell. Okay, so that's called contractile vacuole. Very important in paramecium, you must have read about this. Paramecium, it is a very important factor in paramecium and in some protists also, other protists also. In paramecium, in other protists, contractile vacuole helps in excretion and osmoregulation. So vacuoles are very important. There are three types of vacuole. Remember, sac vacuole, as I told you, hypertonic cytoplasm. food vacuole, it's a phagosome, and then it fuses with the primary lysosome, forming a second rhizome, same functioning. And contractile vacuole, diastole, systole, contraction, relaxation, diastole and systole, expansion, contraction, and it helps in excretion and also regulation. So contractile vacuole, food vacuole you can see in amoeba. Remember, food vacuole you can see in amoeba. It's a very good example of food vacuole. Contractile vacuole, remember, paramecium. Okay, so this is vacuole, a very very important and very easy thing. Okay, so guys, this is vacuole. Vacuole is very important in plants. In animals it is few in number, sorry, it's smaller and there are many number, but in plants it's few in number but they are large. So in plants they have a very important role. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शन होता है इनका प्लांट्स में. 3 टाइप का वैक्यूल, सैप वैक्यूल, फूड वैक्यूल एंड contractile vacuole. Okay, so this is a very easy part and easy topic. So great. So we have done with 3 or 4 organelles, right? We have done with endoplasmic reticulum, we are done with Golgi body, lysosome and vacuole. Okay, in the next video we'll do plastids, mitochondria, the most important and interesting part of what? The cell cytoplasm. Okay, तब तक के लिए अलविदा. पढ़ाई करो अच्छे से, बहुत जबरदस्त पढ़ाई करो, और मैं जो जो बोल रहा हूँ, जितना जितना बता रहा हूँ, नोट डाउन करो और उसको अच्छे से याद करो, बिकॉज ये सारी चीजें एंट्रेंस के लिए बहुत 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 इंपॉर्टेंट है और आपको हेल्प करेगी आपके सपनों को पूरा करने के लिए. ओके गाइस, सो बाय, एंजॉय, वर्क हार्ड.